Assalamu alaikum. I'm gonna make another video. Um, I'm gonna make another video. I don't know. I just want to talk about whatever I can talk about. Just wallahi, life is extremely hard. Like people just like some people just go through so much, and Allah, like, no matter how much you go through in this life, you have to keep Allah close. Once you lose Allah, you lose everything. Allah, like people, some people they go through so much. Life is like, it's not a Jannah, like it's a struggle for everybody, but it's not a struggle really for the person that doesn't believe in the akhirah or believe in something greater than themselves. They keep they busy themselves with dunya stuff, with the dunya. They just want so much out of the dunya without thinking twice about anything else. Though life for those people is extremely easy. They don't really worry too much about any obligations to Allah or any closeness to Allah. But when you like, life is just hard in general. Like people, they just go through so much. Every day we're hearing the news, all different types of things. Like we hear about Palestine, we hear about um even local news. Every time you hear someone has died or someone got in a car crash, or there's just ambulances and fire trucks throughout the city. Every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, there's an ambulance or a police car, or like, it's extremely hard. Life can be really hard sometimes. Like, for example, some people, they lose a lot of things in their life. Some people, they lose their family, they lose their friends, they lose everything, they lose their loved ones, they lose everything. Like, for example, like I don't really speak to my family too much. I'm not sure why. I think it's because I always struggled in the path of Allah. So I don't think, I'm not saying all of them were like that, but some of them just did not appreciate that I tried to strive in God's path. Like, they always told me, like, in a cultural sense, in a cultural sense, like, if you're from the Middle East or Africa or something like that, people, if you're not working, if you don't have a job, they literally give you like no value. They don't put any value on. They start treating you like shit. They start treating you badly. They start talking to you like you're nothing, and you know they make dunya, anything that's connected to the dunya, they make that more important than anything else. So, like, but for the believer, for the one who believes in Allah, he knows that the most important thing is that he keeps his iman intact, that he keeps his iman with Allah straight. Because if you lose your iman, then that's really when you lose your worth. If you don't have your iman, if you don't believe in, if you don't have love for your creator, Al Khaliq, the one who created you and created everything. خلق السماوات والأرض. You know, if you don't have love for him, then you truly have no worth. So people who struggle in the path of Allah, they lose everything. They lose everything. They lose family. They lose livelihood. They lose friends. Everybody. They lose everything. So it's just, but it's important that we keep like striving. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that the dunya is for the disbeliever and the akhirah is for the believer. So while the believers, they struggle a little bit here in this dunya, really we get ultimate joy, Inshallah, bi'idhnillah, may Allah grant us Jannah. He grants us, yani we get ultimate joy in Jannah, you know. And then the true struggle is you're when you're punished eternally in the afterlife, you know. That's the true struggle, you know. But a lot of people, they don't know how to do 1 plus 2, you know. 1 plus 1, you know. 1 plus 1 equals 2, you know. They don't know how to do that, you know. So you just gotta like, as long, you know, we question a lot our sincerity with Allah, you know. Like I have a issue right now, you know, where sometimes, you know, sometimes I question my sincerity with Allah, you know. But it's not really so much about my sincerity that I'm questioning. Like I know that I strive towards Allah, you know. But I feel like, you know, as the struggle keeps going, like, you know, like we have to keep renewing our intentions, you know. We have to keep learning, you know, things that we didn't even know before, you know. We keep learning what we thought we knew that before. We get introduced to new things, you know, like new knowledge, new Islamic knowledge, new knowledge, new like information about this life, you know, that we can relate to our religion, you know. So just no matter what you go through in this dunya, you know, if you keep your sila بينك وبين ربك, يعني your connection between you and God, if you keep it intact all the time, then you will never go astray, you know, like God will never throw you away, you know, and you will just keep learning. You'll just keep learning and learning, you know. We're on this, you know, so we have to make our intentions clear, you know. We have to be some, we have to like strive towards Allah, you know. It's not worth it to lose your akhirah for this dunya, you know. The things that people do to me, the things that the kuffar do to a Muslim, to a believer, it's not worth you doing the same thing to somebody else, you know, like treating somebody badly or horribly, or treating them like they don't matter, or just so you can have status or money or live a dunya life, you know, just so you can live comfortably and watch others suffer. That's not noble, you know. It's not noble in the eyes of Allah, you know. And is punished heavily by Allah, you know. So keep a good heart, you know. Stay close to Allah, you know. He will always see you through, inshallah, you know. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum.